And losing 4 games in a row over the, it's been a month, and that's tough. I mean, it was tough. These last 2 weeks was in 3 in a row, and we just added another to it.
It's very tough, especially just how the losses have come. Just got off to a good start tonight. It was just we didn't sustain it throughout the whole game.
What do you feel Jimmy Garoppolo's decision-making was today?
I didn't think there was a ton of bad decisions, just missed some throws, and obviously the ball got away from him a few times.
There was too many mistakes stacked on top of each other. One guy would make a mistake here, one there, and that's just not. You can't do that and win football games consistently.
Have you felt like you've gotten in a play calling rhythm for a full game this season?
No, I don't think I've gotten a great rhythm. Some of these, I think we've done on a couple drives, but we have not sustained that, and no, I haven't felt comfortable with it.
I can go down the line, and it's every single person, me included. I look at myself and see what, there's things that I got to do better, and that's how everybody's got to look at it, And if you thought you were working hard and doing a lot this past week, that wasn't enough. It's got to be even more now.
Any coach in a 4-game losing streak, you're getting some scrutiny here. Do you think you deserve it?
Yeah, you lose 4 games in a row. I'm the head coach of this team. I expect it, and I deserve it.
Personally, we just have to go out there and just be the team that we know he is. We way better than what our record's showing, and way better than what we putting out there on tape. And just have to come together as a whole and just put it together.
The NFL is a crazy thing. It's 1 week you're on top, and 1 week you're at the bottom of it, and it's just every team has their ups and downs, and we're at a lower end of the point right now, but we could fight back.
Stick with Jimmy Garoppolo as your starting quarterback next week against the Bears?
I would guess so.
All right, so take a look at these numbers, because I'm a big believer in numbers. They just don't lie. Both teams fairly equal on yards gained, but the Colts won the turnover battle. They were 6 of 14 on third down, while the Niners were just 1 of 11. San Francisco, 122 penalty yards, many of those on long pass interference calls, and the Colts possessed the ball 8 more minutes longer. So let's go back to Levi Stadium, where we are joined by Cam Inman, Bay Area News Group's finest. And if I said Kyle Shanahan got out-coached in this one, would I be wrong?
I think everybody got out-coached, got outplayed. Vern, this had to have been their most embarrassing loss of the season. Obviously, it's their 4th in a row, but the previous ones, you're playing these high-caliber quarterbacks and kind of were in the game. And they were in the game in the 4th quarter of this one when they shouldn't be. And then here came some more turnovers, and there came some more defensive miscues. And there's just no excuses that are valid. Everybody messed up, from the coaching staff to the quarterback to the defensive backs. This team is a mess. There's nothing that's really bonding them together. And that's why after the game, the message was, we're going to stick together, which would be the first time this season that's happened, because I don't see a team that's stuck together. This team has been disjointed all season long.
Well, they have to stick together, Cam. I mean, what else are they going to say? And just throw this whole weather thing out of the window, because the Colts had to play in it too, right?
Yes, absolutely. And the fact that the 49ers made their mistakes at the inopportune times, right? I mean, whether it's Garoppolo's interceptions in the 4th quarter, yeah, okay, that's terrible. But the whole start of the game, when they're throwing these pass interference penalties left and right, that's been a season-long theme. And that's something that they can't fix. And it's something that they need to fix and get the young guys in there if they're the ones going to make the mistake, rather than the veteran defensive backs.
Yeah, that's the thing that got me. I mean, these were PI calls on veterans who weren't even looking back for the ball. I mean, their backs were just turned. I mean, it was just, they were just so blatant. It was just so obvious. So I'm thinking, well, somebody's got to see that. I mean, isn't that coaching?
Okay, here's one thing that kind of like sprung in my ears afterwards when we were talking to Josh Norman, who had the first PI call. It got declined because he gave up a 57-yard reception anyhow. But he said the NFL is such a soft league now, and it's such a pass-happy league, that those balls that are in the air are no longer 50-50 balls, right? Whereas the offense and defense have a 50% chance of getting it. It's now going to be all offense because the NFL wants points scored. Well, sure, that may be the case, but you also play defensively terribly on most of these, not just Josh, but the whole secondary. They're out of place. Guys aren't covering players. They're trying to make up late plays. And they just need, is that coaching? Is that players not executing? I think it's all of it. And that's what makes a bad team, when you have penalties, you have injuries, you have guys not making plays.
All right, let's get to the elephant in the room, and that's Jimmy Garoppolo. I saw a look of stun on his face when there was a strip sack that occurred. It was almost as if, what do I have to do? I mean, it just looked, it was a look that was just of so helpless that I was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Look at that. I mean, I was really taken aback by that. What say you about Garoppolo's play?
Vern, the word helpless is something that I almost use as well, and that was on the second interception when I saw him standing there at the midfield logo. After he threw his second pick, the ball floated on him a little bit into four defenders, and Jimmy just stood there and he looked helpless, but he's not helpless. This was his throw. He's got to take accountability for it, right? And Jimmy has, to an extent. It's just, this team is lacking playmakers, you know. They had Elijah Mitchell, a rookie, go for 100 yards. You had Deebo Samuel, wide receiver, go for 100 yards, but he bobbled a couple passes because it's raining. You shouldn't be throwing the ball in the rain like this. You should be handing it off to Elijah Mitchell, not putting the ball into Garoppolo's hands. You put it in his hands in the fourth quarter. He leads a touchdown drive. Everything looks great, and then everything blows up again. It's just a mark of a bad team. It's the mark of a guy who doesn't really feel that he owns the team, I think, as a quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo needs to have that confidence that this is his team, and there's no confidence whatsoever, and even we know that going into Chicago. If Trey Lance is healthy, Kyle Shanahan's going to consider replacing Garoppolo with him.
All right, well, we'll let you go on that note as it is back to the drawing board for the 49ers. Hey, Camp, thanks so much for a few minutes. I know you got a lot going on. We'll see you in the week.
All right, my fellow Cal Poly dad, good job.
That's right. Go Mustangs.